I'm Big Michael Elgin, and you're watching AMBY.
Hey everyone, it's Alicia from AMBY, and I would like to welcome you to our interview with Big Mike. Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm awesome. How are you?
Can't complain, not yet at least.
We're here at Smash Wrestling, New Girl in Town debut at the Phoenix hometown show. How are you feeling about that?
I feel great. In recent years, I haven't been able to make it home to perform as much as I'd like to, so tonight's definitely a big deal for me.
And it's a fatal four-way that you're about to go into.
Yeah, I think I'm best suited out there with multiple opponents because that's kind of my thing, is tossing around multiple people at once. So I think I'm at home in more ways than one.
Well, growing up, you watched a lot of WWF. You also stated how you watched WCCW and Mid-South growing up.
Yep.
But who are some of the people that made you want to step into the rings?
Obviously the first thing was Hulk Hogan. I'm 30, so that age group I find is always attracted to Hulk Hogan when they first find pro wrestling. But I remember, at a very young age, really paying more attention to the actual wrestling part of professional wrestling. So I really started liking the British Bulldogs, Shawn Michaels, and when I found Mid-South tapes, I started liking Dr. Death Steve Williams and Terry Gordy when I found WCCW. So I really got attracted to that, and then found Japanese wrestling, and then I knew for sure that's just kind of where I wanted to be and where I wanted my career to go. Because at that time, WWF was more character-driven, and it was more about a personality than the wrestling. And when you watched the old territory days and then went and found Japanese tapes, it looked like it was real to me. And I always wanted to be an athlete, not just a pro wrestler. So I would say the guys like the Dr. Death Steve Williams, Stan Hansen, Shawn Michaels, and the British Bulldogs were really who kind of pursued me to actually become a wrestler.
And you had to do a lot of the stuff you were watching through tape trading?
A ton of it.
I can only imagine how fun that was.
Well, so Canada was strictly like a WWF territory when I was growing up, at least. So in 1992, a friend down the street got a satellite. I'm not going to say if it was legal or not, but he got a satellite. And we found WCW. And on that show, they had Terry Gordy, Dr. Death Steve Williams, as well as Hashimoto and Hase from Japan. So we found a magazine that you mailed in a letter to get a catalog. We looked at the catalog, and then you saw the names of those guys. So I saw Dr. Death. Oh, he was in Mid-South. Let's order some Mid-South tapes. Oh, we saw Terry Gordy in WCCW, so let's order them. Hase and Hashimoto are from Japan, so let's order some of those tapes. And it just kind of snowballed like that. So a lot of it was just getting tapes.
Now you run Glory Pro shows, which is pretty exciting. Your own promotion.
Yeah, when I lived in Canada, I ran a few shows, and they were mildly successful. And then I opened up a school when I moved to St. Louis, because there really wasn't any decent schools around. And then I got hurt last October, and I was home for a couple months. And that was kind of the first time since I moved to the States that I really had a downtime. And it was almost out of boredom that I started running my own shows, but also I felt that the area needed it, and the first show went amazing. And all the shows coming up look great. People are really excited for it, so I'm really, really happy about that venture.
Was that not something you had wanted to do for a while? Did it just kick in when you were kind of having that downtime?
It was definitely something I wanted to do, but with all the travel to Japan and all the shows I do, whether it be Canada, Mexico, Europe, or the States, I just had no time to kind of lock in a venue, put any real thought into it. You have flights and stuff, but when you're traveling that much, the flights are just good for sleep, not much else. So it was really something that I always wanted to start, and then kind of all the pieces of the puzzle fell into place, and then it happened when I was hurt.
Well, you actually went to a training camp when
Yep.
you first started, and now you have your own coming up in May.
Yes.
I love how full circle that happened.
Yeah, as I said, in my area, there's not a lot of schools. And, even here when Smash came up to me and said, hey, Eddie Edwards can't be here, he was supposed to have a seminar, I jumped at it because I absolutely love passing down the knowledge that I've got. Because, unfortunately, a lot of the seminars, even my original training school, didn't really get me ready for what I wanted to become. And it took a lot of trial and error. I started my first training class, I was 14 years old. My first match was when I was 16, and it took 8 years to be able to really get into the spotlight and start making some decent money at wrestling. And I feel like even though I'm glad the road I took, and I'm glad everything I learned along the way, that maybe if somebody taught me the things that I'm trying to teach others, I might have been able to get a better grasp earlier in my career.
Was there any advice you were told from some of those sessions that did stick with you? Because I was listening and kind of sitting in on the training session today at Smash, and you were the way you explain things is, really sticks with you.
Yeah, that's just kind of my own thing I've come up with. Some of the things I'm teaching might have stuck with me from training camps. A lot of it actually has been, I've been in Japan and at bigger shows, just having, someone who's been maybe around longer than you or has been to WWF, WWE, or been to a New Japan and everything before I'd got there, just saying, do you mind if you watch my match? Is there something you could tell me? What do you want to see more of? What do you want to see less of? And just kind of picking everybody's brains when you can, not necessarily just in a training atmosphere, just at a show. To be honest, people should be asking guys to watch matches. There's Tyson here, there's me, there's Jeff Cobb here, there's Davey Richards, and we should be being asked by these guys, hey, can you watch my match? Sometimes we don't have time, but if you ask, at least we know, okay, they're up. If I have time, I'm going to watch and then give feedback. And that's really where you start learning. If somebody on the card is more knowledgeable than me, had more time in wrestling than me, made more money in wrestling than me, then that's the kind of person that I want to pick their brain.
Soak it all in.
Yeah, so every time, as I said, I've been wrestling for 14 years. I still ask people to watch my match and give me advice. So that's kind of crucial.
I really enjoy following you on Twitter because you send out some fantastic tweets. My favorite recent one being to Wendy's.
Yeah, Wendy's tweets me a lot, but they have not come through with the sponsorship.
Yes, I was going to get to that.
Okay, so Wendy's and Quiznos have been tweeting me back, but I ain't got nothing free from them yet, and it's angered me. So Wendy's, Quiznos, you see this? Hook me up, please. I love Quiznos. There's one at the end of the street from my mom's house where I'm staying. Just please give me a free sub.
Anyone else you'd love to have a sponsorship from?
Anything that's food related, because that's where the majority of my money goes to. That and protein. If I could just get a protein sponsorship and a food sponsorship,
you're set.
I'd definitely be driving a Lamborghini by now, because that's how much money I would have saved.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but do you collect toys or action figures?
I do.
Okay, I saw a couple things hinting towards it, but I wasn't sure.
So I collect them, and now my son loves playing with his action
awesome.
figures. I don't think he knows who any of them are, but even today, so we got in to my parents' house at 8:30 this morning, and by the time I left the house, he was just sweating profusely because he likes to grab his wrestling action figures and put them in a pile, and then he kind of plays with them for a bit, but then he grabs 2 at a time. So if there's 20 figures, he's making 10 trips to another section of the house to make them a pile, and then he plays with them there, and he just does that continuously, and then the stairs come in the way, and then he wants to walk them up the stairs and back and forth. So he loves his wrestling action figures, and I like to collect a lot of the old ones that are worth quite a bit of money. I've actually lucked out. A fan in Japan gave me an action figure that's worth $5,000, and he just gave it to me. So that is definitely on my wall and pristine. And once my son gets older and taller, if he touches them, there's going to be problems. He just absolutely loves them. I bought them because that's kind of how I got into wrestling. I was the youngest in my family, and I got all the hand-me-down toys. So there's pictures of me at a year old sitting in one of the toy wrestling rings with all my cousins with all their figures. And then a couple months later, it was me with all those figures. So that's just kind of how I translated to becoming a wrestler. And whether he wants to become a wrestler or not, it doesn't matter. But myself and my wife, his mother, of course, both have wrestled.
Yep.
She's not wrestling right now, but she had a long career. So it's kind of in his blood. So I'm obviously encouraging it, but if he doesn't pick it up, it's okay. But I wouldn't mind if he did.
At least you know the love of it. The passion does run in the family already.
Yes, it absolutely does.
Well, I just want to do a little quick fire round with you. So just say whatever comes to mind first.
Okay.
Okay. Who would you love to still see in concert that you've yet to?
Eminem.
Which superstar's finish would you least want to take?
That's really hard to take because I don't care. I take whatever.
You'll take them all.
Yeah,
okay.
Pretty much. I can't think of one. But if at the end I think of one, I'll hammer it out.
What's the wallpaper on your phone?
Oh, my son.
Your all-time favorite match?
Probably Kobashi and Misawa from Pro Wrestling Noah in 2003.
And the most boring job that you've had?
Boring.
Or worst?
Every job except this one.
Oh, okay.
I hate working. I've been lucky that since 2009 I haven't had a real job, and if that ever changes, I'm lost. Not having to wake up at a specific time every day and not having to follow other people's rules all the time, it's great. So I never want to do that again. I'm praying to God I never have to.
I completely get you. Running my own website, it is amazing to be able to kind of do what you want.
I mean, of course, I have to be at the airport on time to catch my flights, but then I sleep. And flying so much, I get free upgrades all the time, so I'm comfy, get treated like a real human being instead of the sheep that they usually treat us like on planes. So it's all right now.
So now all that's left to kind of complete everything is Wendy's or Quiznos.
Yes, Wendy's or both.
Both.
I mean, I can handle both. I eat a lot.
It's definitely getting tweeted their way.
Oh, trust me. I've been tweeting them for a while. And they always reply, but they ain't. When I talk about sponsorship, then they halt. There's no more tweets coming my way when they do that.
I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. And remember, to everybody viewing, you can visit us at musicblogger.com for all exclusive interviews, features, videos, and so much more. See you next time.